The Supreme Court ends affirmative action in higher education. Governor Newsom responded to this news by saying, they want to whitewash our nation's history. They want to bring America back to the era of book bans and segregated campuses. We cannot let them. Well, this is awkward because I don't know if you knew this, Governor of California. California banned affirmative action in 1996. And they voted to bring it back in 2020. And California voters rejected racial preferences again. A majority voted against repealing the state's ban on affirmative action. Awkward. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Zeducation, and welcome to our longest running series on this channel, That Didn't Age Well. Here in this series, we highlight hypocritical and lying politicians, mainstream media, and celebrities and entertainers. Why? Because it's hilarious. We can either get mad and yell at our TVs, or we can laugh at and mock these people for lying and just being snaky people. This is what politicians do. We know this. Both parties do it. But this is just a blatant pander for votes. Hilarious. Disgusting, but also hilarious. What a fool. But anyways, we got a great list for you guys today. Jam-packed, full of beautiful hypocrisies and things that didn't age well. So if you're ready for today's video, head down and like this video. And if you're new here, please make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now on to today's list of things that didn't age well. Number 10. For number 10, we got a couple of beauties for you, all right? A couple of off-the-wall random things that didn't age well, including this lady right here, Harvard behavioral scientist who studied honesty, accused of fabricating data. You know, aren't we supposed to trust these places, these people, professors, scientists? Unreal. Can't believe it. On to the next one. That 70 Show fans, you guys might remember this scene with Hyde. Take a look here. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Prison. If you know, you know. Yeah, well, next, we'll just leave it there. And on to the last one here on number 10. We got myself. I made a prediction. Made a prediction that did not age well. Twins 162-0. I thought it was possible. I thought it was, but now I have to boycott the team until they fire Rocco. I can't do it. And then we got one thing that did age well. I had to include this one because I'm a huge baseball fan. You guys know this. Back from 2012, Mets GM, hey Sandy, you have to sign this guy. Shohei Ohtani is an 18-year-old in Japan who throws 100 miles per hour. Get him before another team does. Mets fans, you're just like the Twins fans. We're both pathetic. We both have hope. We both get dropped on our heads every year. But this guy was ahead of his time. You should have got Shohei Ohtani, arguably having one of the best seasons of all time. Number 9. Back to the serious stuff, guys. Back to things that truly matter. Like this prediction that Arctic ice would be gone by 2013. Astounded how fast changes are taking place. We know that didn't happen. Now, we got a new prediction. Arctic summer could be practically sea ice free by the 2030s. Maybe this will come true. But I'm going to just predict, just like all of these other ones that were, didn't age well, that this won't age well either. But we'll see. We got some time left. Can we also pop up the Greta tweet? I know we went over this in the last episode, but Greta predicted that basically we were screwed by June of this year. We're past that. Greta, why'd you delete that tweet? Come on, man.
How dare you?
Number 8. For number 8, we go to our dear leader, who is completely with it, completely sound of mind, completely healthy, and looking out for your best interests. Here we go. Here's a clip of Joe.
Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Whether or not they're pulling back from Fallujah and from the Kherson. We're dealing with it for a whole second. Inflation is a worldwide problem right now because of a war in Iraq and the impact on oil and what Russia's doing.
To what extent has Vladimir Putin been weakened by recent events? It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home.
Joe, I think you're stuck a few years ago. Iraq, yeah, it's not where Russia's involved right now. Can someone tell him, please? Also, whoever is managing his Twitter accounts, you should be embarrassed. Here's a great one that got fact-checked. They continue to spew this lie here. Whoever is running his Twitter account, it's clearly not him. A couple of weeks ago, the POTUS Twitter account tweeted, "My administration has created more jobs in 2 years than any previous administration has created in the first 4 years. It's no accident. It means our economic plan is working, and this is only the beginning." And, basic logic and reason with the past 3 years and how things unfolded, they're trying to keep pushing this narrative, but it's obvious that he's not creating jobs. And that was pointed out here in this beautiful fact check. 90% of jobs during Biden's term can be attributed to post-pandemic return to work. On February of 2020, before the pandemic hit, 158 million people were employed. On May of 2023, the U.S. had 160 million employed. This is a net gain of 2 million jobs over 38 months, or 55,000 jobs a month. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that, but, people literally didn't go to work. Things shut down. So they just returned to work. They didn't create jobs. But again, back to sleazy, snaky, lying politicians is what they try to do. Manufacture narratives and make things seem better than they are. And it is what it is the game. And now we have a beautiful, beautiful hypocrisy here with the Bidens. Recently a headline dropped here. It said, Hunter Biden to plead guilty to federal tax and gun crime charges. Well, these same gun crime charges that he's not going to go to prison for have put a lot of people in prison, including the rapper Kodak Black, who his lawyer, this is his lawyer here that posted this. He posted the article that says rapper Kodak Black gets over 3 years in prison in weapons case. And the lawyer rightfully put under the caption here, 2 tiers of justice. Kodak was charged for the same crime, got over 3 years. Mr. Biden will not serve a day. Feels right? Do FBI agents and federal authorities take cases personally? So 3 years in prison for most people on this crime, but not for Hunter. No double standards, guys. None. Zero. Number 7. Number 7, we go to some pop culture. Our entertainment, we go to Netflix, we go to Disney. Check this stuff out. The wokeness in these new cartoons and all these things that your kids watch. It ain't going too well. Let's take a look here. Disney and Pixar's Elemental introduces non-binary character Lake Ripple, who uses they/them pronouns. Lake is Pixar's first non-binary character. And, most parents, they don't want this in their kids' entertainment. And this showed at the box office. New Pixar movie's box office is one of studio's lowest debut in 3 decades since Toy Story. Yikes. And then we got more people. We got the woke actors getting upset. John Leguizamo. You guys recognize him probably. He's in a lot of stuff. The original Mario refuses to see the new Mario as it lacks diversity. Hell no, he says. This is a cartoon with large... what the hell is Bowser? A turtle? A large turtle? That's not... what? I mean, there's ghosts in there. It's a cartoon. Anyways, this, his outrage didn't matter because box office Super Mario Bros. Opens to stupendous $204 million in U.S., record $377 million globally. I watched it. It was entertaining. It was great. It was a nice little flashback. Nice little the nostalgia to all the old games. It was great. Be outraged, guy. Be outraged. And then we go to the historically inaccurate Netflix, where, they made Cleopatra a black woman. That's not historically accurate. And this wasn't a fictional show. This was a historical documentary. The Egyptian government got involved and said that Cleopatra had white skin in response to Netflix documentary casting controversy. Going further, Netflix Cleopatra documentary threatened with billion-dollar lawsuits. So even, the Middle East is getting involved now and saying, hey, what the hell, you guys? This isn't historically accurate. But historical accuracy doesn't matter today. We know this. Okay, guys? Get with the times. Get with 2023. Number 6. For this one, we go to another Supreme Court decision. This was a big one. Lots of big decisions here recently, including the affirmative action, which, again, was banned in California in 1996 and voted down again in 2020. So, for those of your friends that are upset, your family members, make sure you show them that, and see their reaction. Record it. It'd be hilarious. Anyways, another huge decision was student loans. Student loans, this is Nancy Pelosi in 2021 This is what she said. She was saying at the time, even Nancy, the dirty politician herself, was saying that Joe Biden didn't have the power.
People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject and you ever want to know? Well, you'll let me know. People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
Yikes, yikes, yikes. So even Nancy was saying this. But again, it got people to turn out to vote in 2022. That's exactly why politicians say and do the lies that they do. Manipulated a lot of people, maybe some of you watching, to go out and vote. Say, hey, wow, I've got all this debt. I got to vote for him because he's going to forgive it. Well, even she said that wasn't possible, and it wasn't. The Supreme Court strikes down Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. Now, a lot of people should be upset for Biden lying, for manipulating. Will that happen? Probably not, sadly. Number 5, we go to our friends in the North. We've got Justin Trudeau on many of these lists. Lots of things that he promised, that he flip-flopped on, that he lied about, including this beautiful one here, 2010 to now.
Registering your guns is just the first step towards taking away guns from everyone. That's never going to happen because here in Canada, we have a culture that has grown up with guns and that respects the need.
From today forward, it is no longer legal to buy, sell, or transfer a handgun in Canada.
Oh, that's just a sad one right there. Canada, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, you guys got to figure something out. Things are not looking too good out east in Canada. And who knows where Canada is going to be in 10 years from now if you keep letting this guy run things. Number 4, we go back to entertainment. A couple of beauties here from Netflix, including this one that should make all of us mad. From Netflix in 2017, love is sharing a password. The hell happened, Netflix? Huh? 6 years later, now we can't share the passwords. But Netflix, whoever runs their Twitter account, they gain a few points back on this burn here. This is pretty bad. Pretty bad. But Blockbuster tweeted a friendly reminder that when you used to rent videos from us, we didn't care who you shared it with, as long as you returned it on time. And Netflix responded by saying, a friendly reminder. Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for $50 million, but the CEO thought it was a joke. Oh, that didn't age well. Oh, that's bad. I guess, Blockbuster, you deserve that one. You should have bought Netflix. You should, and then maybe the stores would still be open. I love going to the store, but now we don't have them because you guys didn't buy Netflix. If you bought Netflix, we might still have the stores to go browse our favorite selections, get that weird candy you guys always sold. It's a shame. Number 3. For number 3, we go to an example that demonstrates the lesson, be careful what you wish for. Back in 2020, this was tweeted, sign posted at Molly Moon's ice cream near Seattle PD East Precinct and now defunct Chop Zone said, quote, police officers, Molly Moon's is a gun-free zone. Please do not come inside if you are wearing a firearm. Sticking with the anti-police theme there. This was, like I said, right on the heels of the Chop. You guys remember that? The Chop Zone. They created their own little country that ended in disaster. Now, Molly Moon's homemade ice cream has sued the city of Seattle over 2020's Capitol Hill organized protest, alleging the city endorsed and supported a, quote, destructive occupation of the neighborhood. You seem to do the same thing there, Molly's Ice Cream. And honestly, shame on Seattle for letting this occur, for letting it happen. It was a giant embarrassment, although a good lesson to all these crazies out there. Number 2. Now we get to the good stuff. This, from the mainstream media, just I can't even tell you how yummy this one is. For this one, we go to Rachel Maddow. Take a look at what she just said recently about misinformation.
We knew heading into this that he was planning to make these remarks. We are prepared for his pre-fundraiser remarks tonight to again be essentially a Trump campaign speech. Because of that, we do not intend to carry these remarks live. As we have said before in these circumstances, there is a cost to us as a news organization to knowingly broadcast untrue things. We are here to bring you the news. It hurts our ability to do that if we live broadcast what we fully expect in advance to be a litany of lies and false accusations, no matter who says them.
Does that include yourself? Because you guys do that all the time. And that's we have the evidence. We'll get to the evidence here in a second. But I also want to show Don Lemon, who is almost on the same level as you, spreading misinformation and lies and divisiveness. Don Lemon says he doesn't believe in platforming liars and bigots after CNN firing. It's crazy to see both of them saying this. But back to Rachel. I just want to play this beautiful clip for you guys. And you can, compare and contrast where she stands now. This is from 2021.
It means that instead of the vaccine being able, instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person to person, spreading and spreading, sickening some of them, but not all of them. And the ones that it doesn't sicken don't know they have it. And then they give it to even more people because they didn't recognize they were, right? Instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person, potentially mutating and becoming more virulent and drug resistant along the way. Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. That means the vaccines will get us to the end of this if we just go fast enough.
What were you saying about spreading misinformation? We know that wasn't true. We knew that pretty early on, like before you said that, and you still said it. And yeah, we'd love to get your take on that. Moving on here. Number one, we go back to sports. We go to the PGA Tour and the LIV Golf merger. They just merged. Here's the headline here. PGA Tour agrees to merge with Saudi-backed rival LIV Golf. This was early June. So they agreed to merge. And this really didn't age well. This makes them giant hypocrites. Because here's what they had to say. This is the PGA Tour on the LIV Golf Tour when all of the golfers were making tens and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions for some of them. They did not like that. They were losing their business. They're losing, the best players. And they pulled out all the stops, trying to get the audience on their side. Here's what they had to say when this was all going down.
I want to ask about this. There was a story that was first reported in the New York Post yesterday by Brian Wacker about a 9/11 coalition of families and survivors of the 2001 terrorist attacks. 9/11 Families United sent a letter to the representatives of Phil, Dustin, Bryson, Reed, and others, quote, expressing their outrage towards the golfers for participating in the new league and accusing them of sports washing and betraying the United States, end quote. That's gotten a lot of steam over the last 24 hours. That story first reported again in the New York Post. How much did you talk to your players about the possible ramifications if they sign on with the new league?
Well, I talked to players. I've talked at a player meeting, and I've talked to a number of players individually. And I think you'd have to be living under a rock to not know that there are significant implications. And as it relates to the families of 9/11, I have two families that are close to me that lost loved ones. And so my heart goes out to them. And I would ask, any player that has left or any player that would ever consider leaving, have you ever had to apologize for being a member of the PGA Tour?
Ooh. That's Dirty Politics 101. Exploit tragedies. Use them in your favor. If you want to be a dirty politician one day or a dirty leader of an organization like the PGA, manipulate people by pulling on their heartstrings. Do that. Use children. Use atrocities. And this one really didn't age well because, what's going on here? Now, do you have to apologize now, too, to the people that you know? Disgusting. Bonus! A handful of examples from the Twitter account Defiant L's, one of my favorite Twitter accounts. For this one, the first one from the New York Times, back in July of 2022, they wrote an article that said how the Russian media spread false claims about Ukrainian Nazis. Now, about a year later, they had to acknowledge this is such a bad thing and a rampant thing in the Ukrainian military, like real legit Nazis, that they had to address it. Nazi symbols on Ukraine's front lines highlight thorny issue of history. Wait a minute, but you said it was just fake information. So all these videos, all these pictures were real? These are Ukrainian soldiers that are donning these symbols? That's pretty bad. And you're even acknowledging it now. So what happened about you, saying it was fake last year? Or were you spreading the misinformation? Another one, we got this guy, David, who said in 2019,
Donald Trump is 73 years old. He has just had 3 relatively full, for him, workdays and can barely walk or form a sentence. He is too old for this job. Sorry. It has to be noted.
Same guy. Same guy. We got an 80-year-old plus, 80, what is he, 81 now? Joe Biden, who doesn't know what day it is most days, doesn't know what planet he's on. That's how bad it is. He wrote an article defending him. Same guy who called Donald Trump old at 73. Joe Biden is old. Get over it. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. How about now? At this point, they're both too old. Maybe. Anyone? Like, age limits, term limits, please? What do you think about today's examples? All these hypocrites, all these liars in the media, in politics, how does that make you feel? At this point, like I said, all we can do is laugh at them, mock them for being dishonest. Let me know what you think down in the comments. While you're down there, please like this video. Please help us get it recommended to others. That's it for today's video. Until next time, I'm Tyler Zed. This is Zeducation.
12, 15. Oops, stepping on them. It's black. Anyway.
Idiots.